So who's on your eclectic group?
Oh,
Electric eclectic. I can't talk today.
yeah. I don't know.
Electric
Just
eclectic selectric.
yeah,
I can't talk
it's just
anytime.
an eclectic group. It's just a bunch of people, not a bunch of people,
So
just a few people. I don't
so
really do too much with
so
it.
so three people. You, yourself, and you.
No, there's like I don't know. There's
Okay.
maybe a dozen, something like that. I'd have to check. I don't really know.
I guess that's very meaningful for you then to
Oh
do
yeah, yeah. It's
that
like
eclectic group. That's on the top of your meaningful list, I guess.
yeah, absolutely.
So can you hear me okay? I'm using my speakers on the Mac Mini, and I'm not going to use my headphones because
Uh,
the Mac Mini's a little bit far from the front of my desk. I can't reach it. So
oh
if you can hear well, I'll just leave it like this. And if
yeah.
it starts to feed back, let me know.
No, I'm okay. I'm okay. It's okay. You need one of these. You need an extension for
I
your
do.
earphones.
Yeah, I do. You're right. I do. I have to get off my butt and go buy one. You're right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
What's
I got
shaking,
my
Dad?
scooter back.
Did you?
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Ready
Oh,
to rock
okay.
and
Yeah.
roll now.
Why don't you pop over here later or something? And we'll try
Okay,
to.
could do, could do.
Actually, I got to try to start mine too. I haven't ridden it since the rain's been here.
Uh, is yours at home or at
You know,
school?
it's at school.
Okay.
It's
Oh, that's right. You
downstairs. I
showed me
keep
that
it
one
here.
time. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I keep it here just so I can ride it around here, just for ease of transportation.
Right.
Yeah, it's pretty fun, and I've ridden it a few times. You know,
Yeah.
I went to Costco on it once, which was pretty
Wow.
far,
Yeah.
and it stalled a couple times, and I was a bit nervous, but
Oh. Oh,
I
there it
made it.
is.
Okay.
See, it says
Yeah.
stream elements,
Stream elements. Oh,
which is a
okay.
it's kind of a plug-in or something like that for Twitch.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Gosh,
So
I
that's
haven't been
all
on
that
Twitch
is.
in ages. I should get on there too.
Yeah, I
Uh,
several people. You remember what's her name? What is her name?
yeah, I remember what's her name. She's a nice girl.
Yeah, what is her name? The one oh Uke. Uke.
I do. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yes.
she moved over to Twitch, I guess.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. I never see her on here anymore. I see her on Twitch every once in a while.
All right.
Well,
Well,
it's
that's interesting. I guess some people did that
yeah. It's weird. I hear my
after the.
voice delayed in whatever. I speak it and I hear my voice speaking here, and then I hear it back again, slightly delayed.
That might be coming through mine, actually.
Oh yeah, I guess that's probably it.
So, all right. I could try to plug in my.
It
Hang
doesn't
on. Let me
affect
see if I
anything though
can.
because I've got my earphones in, so it's not feeding back into anything.
I'm gonna try to move my. Really?
Move your whatever.
Move my mini.
Move your mini.
My little one.
Yeah.
I'll move. Let's see. I'll try to plug it in. Just tell me if. I'm just curious why it does that, and so I'm working on my equipment here. Wow, you can see the top of my head. That's not too cool. Bye. Never mind that. That's not cool, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry, I don't want to. Didn't mean to. Make you witness that.
Oh, you still got more on top than I do, so.
Oh.
You know what they say, grass never grows on a busy street, so.
Yeah. Coming to you from above.
Yeah, there you are. Oh, shoot. You were looking pretty good there for a minute. Now you're back to.
Ah!
There, okay, there.
This is better. This is better.
The best view you've had I've had of you in years. Yep, yeah, that's it. Perfect.
Now I don't want to do this because we've done this a million times. Everybody knows already. Please see this. Please ignore this one, Daniel.
Okay, gotcha. All righty. So
gotcha. Is it feeding back now?
Nope,
How's the
nope.
feedback going? Ah, that was me then, because it's
Yep.
coming out of the speaker. I have a mic on my webcam. It's coming out of the speaker, going back into the webcam. That's why. All righty, sir. We're still delayed mightily, aren't we?
Yeah, yeah. This is, and I tried. I plugged in. I've got an Ethernet cable plugged in, so I'm wired now, so that I'm not doing the Wi-Fi. I thought that might cut down on. I mean, at least so far, I
Yeah,
haven't had any of those. The little red notice shows up that says that I've got a weak connection or whatever. Um,
right on.
but it doesn't seem to have taken care of the lag problem. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. So here, what
So
do we
what
got?
kind of questions do you have for us today there,
I don't
my
know. What do we
son?
got?
My father.
How about this one? Is it always wrong to
Forgive
lie?
me, forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. Sorry, Dan, you're my big brother, not my father.
That's right. That's right. Yeah,
Oh
I'm only
gosh,
what,
big
3 years
brother
older.
is
Yeah.
yeah, big brother is always watching. Oh no.
Yeah.
Is it always wrong to lie? Oh gosh, if whatever your answer is, I think you can get yourself into a little bit of a bind with this answer, right? No matter what you answer. I'm going to say, it's not always wrong to lie. No.
Uh-huh. All right. I would
You know
say
what I mean?
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. It's not always wrong to lie. There are times when that is the prudent thing to do. Yeah. But yeah,
I
oh
think
yeah,
if
yeah. What do you
you're
mean by wrong? By wrong, immoral?
right,
Wrong.
right.
Yeah. And again, yeah, this
Yeah,
is.
if you can prevent someone from walking into danger or getting into a dangerous situation by lying or kind of aiding in some situation and sometimes for yourself or the other person, right? It
Hmm.
might not be wrong, right? Yeah.
Okay.
Hmm. So when is it okay? Well, I just gave a couple of examples. Yeah.
Right. If
If you're
if there's no benefit to telling the truth, but there is some benefit to telling the lie, if there's no
right,
benefit
right,
to telling the truth, and no, yeah, no bad effect from telling the lie, and maybe even there is a good effect from telling the lie, then yeah, I think then that is a case when it would be okay.
right. Uh, how about like for example, little things, Dan? For example, uh, let's see, what is a good example? Okay, for example, you kind of don't stretch or don't tell the whole truth. For example, let's use Costco as an example. If
Okay.
if your wife is very careful about your diet and doesn't want you to overeat and whatnot, and kind of slip off to Costco for a pizza lunch, right? How
Uh-huh.
about that? And you don't mention anything about it. Yeah.
Um,
Not that I've ever
well,
done that, of course.
yeah. Uh, that's so
Oop.
specific that it kind of makes me think that maybe there's something to there, but yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm looking for examples sort of in my own life, I
All
suppose.
right. Let's see. I
So
mean,
that's not really telling a lie. It's just not disclosing 100% of what you did,
okay,
right?
but okay, you come home and she's fixed a big meal and you don't eat the way you normally do, and she says, "Oh, honey, what's wrong? You don't like
Mm.
the food?" I mean, so then you're forced into some kind of a confession or some kind of, either a confession or a lie. So what do you do then?
You eat the food. You always eat the food no matter how full you are, boy. You
Yep.
shove it in. You
Yeah, that's
shove it
why
in. That's it.
that's why I weigh 90 some kilograms now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right on. Hey, yes, yes, indeed.
Mhm.
Something like that, right?
Yeah.
Uh, So yeah, I think it's not always. And again, what do we mean by wrong, right? And what do
mm,
we mean by lying, of course, too,
mm,
right? Yeah. If you're
mm.
gonna, I mean, if you're lying about your background to get a job or something, right, and which is easily discoverable,
Mm.
I'm not sure that's a good one. That's a different situation.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, take the extreme example of what was Abagnale, the Catch Me If You Can guy.
Yes, yes. Yeah, yes. Good example. Good example. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Frank Abagnale was yeah.
Yeah.
He did a talk at Google actually,
Yeah.
uh, which is on YouTube. I actually haven't seen it yet, but
Yeah.
keeps popping up on my feed.
Yeah.
Uh, but what do you think about that? I mean, as far as that goes, yeah,
What? Frank Abagnale or
like lying like that, of
lying
course,
like that? I
not
mean,
not telling the whole entire truth,
well, I mean,
blatantly making up a story, right?
yeah, but I mean, I
Of
thought it was
course.
maybe going too far when he became a doctor, by
Yeah,
lying.
yeah, right. Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
but
yeah, 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 yeah.
and but I
Of
mean,
course.
mostly the lies that he told. I mean, so he spent a lot of time, I guess, as as a airplane pilot, flying here and there for free, doing that whatever the deadhead, the getting a free flight, wasn't
Yeah,
really, hurting anyone, directly anyway. He was,
yeah.
yeah. Hey, Eleanor, welcome.
Hey, Eleanor, how you doing?
Yeah, so I don't know that, I thought it was kind of interesting. I mean, yeah,
That's
harmless, I don't
interesting.
know. Pretty close to harmless. I was kind of rooting for the guy, I mean, I knew that he got caught. That's how they
Well,
made the
everybody
movie.
was.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, everybody was, I think.
Yeah.
But also, I thought it was interesting how no one, checked more on the background situation because
Oh,
he was
yeah.
such a good. He was such a personable person and such a good talker.
Yeah. Just a second. I got a phone
That
call.
right. Sure, sure. Yeah, I mean, I thought that was interesting how no one actually checked on his background, right? I mean, it's very easily discoverable. So, yeah, that's interesting. So, is that wrong? What he did? I think he got away with a lot, and he was lucky. I'm not sure if it's a good thing to do, right? Personally, I wouldn't like myself if I did that, you know. Um, but that's a very specific example, sure. And yeah, I mean, maybe perhaps. And Eleanor, what do you think about this too? That is it wrong to kind of tell a little white lie if it's going to either help somebody or disallow someone from getting into trouble or get harmed or something? I think it's okay in that situation to say a little lie or not disclose the 100% truth. Yeah. Uh, there are a lot of examples. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Eleanor says, I think all lying is wrong. Little lies add up in the long run and make a person untrustworthy. Yeah, that's right. Sure, the little lies do add up, right? Um, and sure, people could be seen as untrustworthy. Absolutely. That's why Frank Abagnale, who we were just speaking about, did get caught in the end. So, of course, right, he was untrustworthy. However, after that, he did do a couple of talks at Google, and he was in that movie Catch Me If You Can, or the movie was about him rather. So yeah, so that was one very different case.
That was one very
There's one
different.
example. Yeah, the Frank Abagnale case.
Mm.
But if you, for example, if one thing, you like an example that pops to my mind. This is not an exact example, but if your daughter wants to go skiing, for example, right, on an
Hmm.
evening, right, and maybe you're worried about her going skiing, you tell her something like, well, the ski slopes are closed tonight or something like that, right? to
Mm.
kind of avert her from going, right? What about that? Or if she wants to borrow the car and you say something like, "Oh, sorry, the battery's dead. It's not working well," right?
Yeah.
You know, uh,
Um,
just to
I
so she's not exactly getting into danger, but you're kind of worried. So
yeah,
you
I
know what I
mean,
mean. So it's not,
I'm kind of against that,
yeah,
the only if the only way that you can get someone to to do something is by lying to them, yeah, I don't, yeah, that I don't like that at all. I don't like that at all. No.
sure, right,
Um,
yeah, right. Yeah, I think you should be forthcoming and say, well, I don't think I'm worried about you, right? So I'd rather you not go skiing or drive the
right.
car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
You need to make a an appeal to reason there. I mean, yeah, resulting resorting to lying. I think and then if the lie comes out, then it really undermines everything that you're trying to represent as a parent. So yeah,
Yes, that's right.
I don't see that as a good
And
thing. And
you're trying to set an example, a good
right.
example as a parent, right?
Right,
And yeah,
right.
it just won't do it, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I had that
Yeah, I saw
problem,
it. Oh,
so
go ahead.
at home, uh, what about lying to the dog? I know, what
Lying to
was
the
it?
dog. Yeah, I mean, my mom lies to the dog all the time. She says, "Oh, you're almost like a person. What a nice little pooch you are. Are you hungry now?" Right?
No, but,
Sorry, we don't have any more food.
right, right. Yeah, you don't,
Yeah.
yeah, no
Is,
more,
is
no
that
more, even though there is more, or,
right?
you're going out somewhere, and the dog always gets excited when you're going out and say, oh, lie to the dog. No, no, you just, uh, going out to take out the garbage or something like that. Well, anyway, the dog tends to can recognize these things, and the, the, at our house they used to actually lie to the dog in order to get the dog to to calm down because they were expecting something or another. So I just
So now you're kind of insinuating the dog can understand English.
oh, no, it was Japanese, but anyway,
Oh,
uh,
okay, Japanese.
no, but to me, because
Is your
they did
maybe?
that in front of my daughter. And so my daughter is like, okay, well, if it
Ah,
makes it easier, then it's okay to lie.
uh-huh. Ah.
Right?
Okay, so you're talking about your in-laws lied to the
I'm talking
dog.
about the outlaws. Yeah.
Yeah, the outlaws, the out in-laws, right? So you didn't take part in that lying, I guess.
No, I disagree with
Yeah,
that,
okay. Yeah, okay, yes.
a lie is a
That's
lie.
right. That's right. Lies
How can you
lying. How
care
can you
about a
care about
person so
another
much that you
person?
would lie to them but keep them out of harm, but you don't care enough to tell them
Yeah.
the truth? Right. Yeah. Yeah. And
Yeah.
that's, I mean, of course, all right. So what if someone near and dear to you, you through your connections or whatever at with the doctor with their doctor, you learn before they do that they have some, for example, a serious or terminal illness, right? And
Yeah.
if you know that the personality of that person is such that if they learned the truth that it would affect them very detrimentally, that they would most likely deteriorate, and that they would that would
Yeah.
be damaging to them emotionally. So then would you lie?
Sure, of course. Of course, yeah. And that's a case where, maybe not saying anything is not lying.
Yeah,
Although, right, then you kind of do want to be honest and open and do tell the truth. I mean, I think it also depends on how you do it too.
yeah,
There may be a way that you can tell them,
yeah.
so it is not so detrimental,
Yeah,
you
I
know.
mean, to me, that one seems reasonable, but it would that even that would be a situation that I would have a hard time lying to that person.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that partially stems from
Well,
the fact that I so strongly insist that I know the truth about my medical condition. I mean, in
oh,
Japan
me
here,
too, me
there's
too.
the custom of, if a family member has, especially the big C, right? Cancer or something like that. They'll tell the family, but they won't tell the person that actually has the disease, because it's, they don't want them to give up or
Well,
whatever.
yeah, right. I was just gonna say, my wife and I get PET tests every 2 years now, or every 3 years. Positron emission tomography tests, right?
Right.
They put you in this big machine, and they can tell every little detail about your body, right?
Hmm.
I think these days, for some things, they do ask up front. They're pretty forward about it. They're like,
Mm,
if something happens with you, if we discover some cancer, do you want to know or not? I've been asked that a lot, right? Do you want to
mm,
know if you have it or not, right?
mm,
They ask you that,
mm.
I always do, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Please tell me. Yes, of course.
Mm,
Absolutely, right. But yeah, that one, yeah, I mean, if I, had to keep it from the person,
mm.
or if I had to say something like, "Oh no, you're okay," I could never do that.
Yeah.
No worries, you're okay. No, I
Yeah.
couldn't do that. I would feel terrible about that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why I think I'm a terrible liar, because yeah, I may be able to, get away with not divulging all the information that I have, but to actually come out and fabricate, a false, a false statement,
Hmm, hmm.
especially ask something
Yeah,
directly to come out with just a false statement. I mean, I may deflect, I may, kind of go off on a tangent or something like that, but to actually directly, give a, reply with a falsehood is very tough for me.
yeah. I had a bunch of friends who liked pranks. They liked doing pranks on people, right?
Hmm.
And some of the pranks, of course, depended on lying, and it's keeping a straight face. And I was never good at that. I could never do that. Yeah.
Mm.
Even with my wife, yeah. No, I can't. I can't even try to pull like a little joke or something.
Mm. Yeah.
So I'm not good at lying
Fine
either,
goal
right?
to be expected to keep things from someone. Just don't tell me. Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's better. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
If you don't want the person to know something, then don't tell me, because I might tell them. Right. If they ask me and I know, then I might tell them. So it's better if I don't
Yeah,
know too. Yeah.
that's exactly right. Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right.
I'm not good at like keeping that kind of, that silence, or playing a prank, or even playing a little joke. My
Mm.
wife knows immediately when I'm trying to pull a little thing on her. Yeah. So I could never lie. I could never cheat on my wife. It's
Mm.
impossible.
It's a
How about the
good
next
thing.
question then, Danny boy? Yeah.
Is it okay to do something wrong if no one sees it or knows about it?
I think, didn't we kind of broach this question a couple months ago?
Did we?
We're kind of doing, it seems to me we've touched on something like this before,
Yeah,
but that's
it could
okay. No
be. I
worries.
mean,
No worries.
could be. I mean, there's only so many different. I mean, it gets to the point, especially with philosophy, that things kind of blur. One topic kind of blurs into another. So especially when we talk about right and wrong. Yeah.
Sure. Absolutely. Right. And, Eleanor says, of course, right? What is wrong?
What is
What
wrong?
do we
Yeah.
mean by wrong?
It's okay to do something wrong if no it's well, I mean,
Yeah. What is
all right.
wrong? I
So
mean,
for that, we'll leave it subjective and say, okay, if you think that this is a wrong act, okay, if you think this is a wrong act, um,
right.
right, you
Yeah.
view it as
Wrong. You
wrong
mean against society, or just
against whoever,
wrong, in other
whatever,
words,
right?
to myself?
Right, whether it's against a family member or some other member of society, or against society as a whole, or whatever, whether it's a personal or you know, uh, you
Yeah.
know,
I think it's kind of too broad, isn't it? Yeah.
if I
I
think
don't think
something
I
is
would.
wrong, would I
No.
do it? Okay, well, all right. I mean,
Yeah. Why would I do it? Okay. There you go. She says, yeah.
Well, okay,
exactly, kind of,
so
you
for
know.
example, I mean, so if you were in a difficult situation, okay, so let's say that you're traveling and um okay, I mean, I at a loss to
Let me,
come
can
up
I
with
give it
something.
a good example?
All right.
I have a good example, a real life example.
Okay.
This happened to my ex-wife and I. We were at the bank, right? She took Mayen or $400 about out of the bank, right? We were shopping and whatnot, I guess, for the weekend. Yes.
Mhm.
She put it on the cash machine and walked out and forgot the money.
Uh-huh.
Right. Okay. So in Japan, you would think hopefully that the money would still be there when she goes back, but it is yen, 40,000 yen.
Mhm.
She did go back and the money was gone. Right.
Mm.
And we don't know who took the money,
Right.
but someone obviously took the money.
Right.
So maybe no one was there, So it's kind of like this case, but somebody did take the money.
Mm.
How about in that case? If you saw the Yomai in there and no one was there and no one was claiming it,
And that was wrong of
what would
them.
you
Yeah,
do?
that was wrong of them. Yeah.
Yeah, it was wrong of them. Yeah, we thought it was wrong. Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
My ex-wife went to the bank and asked them, and they didn't know, and no one around saw or knew.
But that's not quite the question, or maybe it is. I mean, I interpreted this.
No, I mean, well, looking at it from that point of view, like that person's point of view, would you take the money,
But
or would it be wrong to take the money?
right,
Of
but that
course, right.
still, no one,
No, I'm sorry.
no
Not
one.
what is it wrong to take the money? Is it okay to do that wrong thing if no one sees or knows about it?
But somebody, I mean,
Right.
knows about it. Knows about it to the extent what? I mean, they know that it happened, or they know who did it, right?
Well,
So
yeah.
if you do something wrong, if they, so like for example, if somebody lost some money, okay, and they don't have
Hmm.
any idea where they lost that money, it's cash, okay,
Well,
whatever amount
we
it is.
same thing happened with us. Same thing happened with us in the bank machine. We don't know who took it. You know,
No, 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 no. Listen to me.
we
Listen to
don't know
me. No,
where it
no, no,
was.
no, 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 no. That's a different situation. Okay,
Go ahead.
listen. Okay, so you lose an amount of money. You don't know where you lost it, right? So, you knew
Okay.
exactly where
Yeah.
that money was. So when you went back there, it was clear that somebody had taken it. Otherwise, it would still be there. But if you lost the money, you don't know
Uh
where
huh.
it is.
You mean dropped it somewhere?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Let's say, okay, let's all right, let's say this. Let's say, you're traveling across country. You're driving across country, right? In your car, and you've got a bunch of
Yeah.
things tied to your car, right? Because you're packing up to move from across the country, right? And somewhere during that trip, something of value falls out of your car and you have no idea where it is, right? So it could be
Yeah.
anywhere along a 3,000-mile trek of
So
stretch of.
you don't know that you lost it, in other words. Yeah.
Well, you have absolutely no
You
idea
have no
where
idea
it
at
could
that
be. I
point.
mean, it could be anywhere along that route, okay? Um,
Mhm.
no reasonable expectation that you'd ever be able to find it if you looked for it because, it could be anywhere, on a 1,000, 2,000 mile stretch of highway or whatever. You don't, yeah, you don't notice. I mean, you're sure that you packed it, but when you go to unpack, it's not there. Okay, so somewhere along the
Mhm.
line, it obviously has fallen out, right, or whatever. Hello, hello, hello. Her story untold. Yes, from Atlanta. Welcome.
Cool.
So but
Hey,
anyway, so there,
Atlanta.
so you don't know that somebody else got it or not, right? There's no way
Mhm.
that you are going to know, right? So there is no
Yeah.
knowledge. I mean, with your case, there was knowledge that somebody took it.
Right.
But here is something that is
Hopefully. I mean,
actually
unless it blew
legitimately
away.
lost. Legitimately lost. It
Mhm.
is gone. It is out of the person's sphere of influence, right? There's no way that they can get it back. And now
Mhm.
you find it and you take it for your own. Nobody
Hmm.
sees you
Hmm.
take it. The person that lost it doesn't know that you took it, doesn't know that anybody
Yeah.
took it, right? Doesn't know if
Right.
anybody
Hmm.
ever took it, right? So now there is
Yeah.
no
Hmm.
knowledge. Now there is
Right.
actually
Okay.
no knowledge.
Okay. Yeah. Yes.
Is that any
Yeah.
different than your to me that's different than yours, right? Because with yours, the money was left there. It's in a place that obviously it wasn't dropped on the ground. It wasn't actually lost. It was forgotten. And there's to
Yeah.
me there's a big
Okay.
difference between lost and forgotten or misplaced,
Hmm. Hmm.
temporarily
Yeah.
misplaced or
Okay.
temporarily forgotten. See?
Well, the thing is taking it, right? So, I mean,
Yep.
no, I wouldn't take it, even if it's lost. I don't think I would, because first of all, it depends on what it is, and second of all, yeah, why? I mean, I don't know if I would want to take it.
Something that's
Yeah, no,
found
I
is
don't think
not
I would.
taken. Something that's found is not taken. Okay. Um, so something is found is not taken, so that means it's not wrong to to to
Yeah.
receive it, to receive that lost thing. Um,
Hmm. Yeah. No, it's true. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know about
That's
that.
right.
I mean,
Exactly. I mean,
I don't know. I mean, so I've found things before. I mean, I think I told you before. I found uh, a smartphone, a brand new iPhone on the ground when I was walking home. Brand new iPhone. I found it.
eh,
It was
yeah.
there. So I
So
didn't
you
take it
found
from
it.
anyone.
Yeah.
I found it.
Right. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
not
Right.
giving it
I don't. I
back,
don't
not
think.
turning it into the police station, the Koban would have been wrong in my mind.
Yeah, you've got both of those things. You've got to find and to take, right? And it's the action, the succeeding action is the thing that decides what it is. You can find it and still not take it, right?
That's true. That's true.
Right.
Yep.
You can find it and just leave it there, or take it to the police station. Yeah, yeah. I mean, if it's not mine, or if I don't need it, I wouldn't take it.
Okay, but all right,
Yeah.
let's say you're walking down the street. It's all right. Let's say it's like 2 o'clock in the morning. You're walking home from one of your nightly uh, drinking
Yep.
drinking
Nightly
excursions
binges,
downtown. Right, you're walking
drinking
home.
excursions.
Right,
Man,
there's
those
no.
haven't happened in a long time.
Yeah,
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 go
yeah.
ahead.
This I thought you said you didn't lie. No, okay. Anyway, I know COVID, COVID. Anyway, so you're
Yeah,
walking
COVID.
home. You're walking home, middle of the night, okay, and there's nobody else around, and a breeze blows, and a Ichiman yen, a 10,000 yen, Japanese 10,000 yen note.
Which is about $100 for those watching, if you're not sure. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, there's a
You
buzzing
okay,
going
Dan?
on. There's a buzzing going on. So all of a sudden here, I don't know what it is, but
I think that's in your skull, isn't it? Isn't it
no, no, no. It's here.
inside your head?
Oh, they're drilling. Somebody's drilling somewhere. They're doing some kind
Oh,
of repair. That's
okay.
what it was. Oh, that was weird. All of a sudden, there's this buzz, and like, where was that? Anyway,
I
so
know you looked around.
so $100 bill, a 10,000 yen note, $100 bill. Just nobody around. It's the middle of the night. There's absolutely no way that you could. It's cash money. There's no identifying mark on it, right? Would you receive? Would you take
Yes.
that, or would you turn it into the Koban?
I think I would do neither. I would just probably leave it there, right?
Really?
Yeah,
You would
yeah.
just
I mean,
leave
yeah,
Ichiban yen, a hundred
probably.
dollars
Yeah.
bill lying on the ground.
Yeah, let the next person have it, or what have you. I think yeah. I mean, it's not mine, right? I could take it to the Koban, but then then you're dealing with an extra level of uh, of kind of duty, in other words, right? And
Yeah.
do you have
So
to go to that next level? I mean, I don't know. Uh,
if it
and would
was
I
me,
need it? I don't think I would need it. So
no,
yeah, okay. I
the
mean,
need doesn't come into it for me because if I need it, that doesn't make it less wrong if I take it and I shouldn't. And if I don't need
yeah.
it,
Well,
it
this
doesn't make it more
so
wrong if I take it and
so is it wrong to just leave it there? why is it wrong to just leave it there?
I'm not saying it's wrong to leave it there. Um, I'm
Okay,
not saying it's
I
wrong.
kind of got
I'm
the
not.
impression that because that's what I would do, and I kind of got the impression you were kind of like, well, you would just leave it there, sort of.
And not that I was disapproving, but I was just surprised because for me, I would definitely pick it up and take it to the Koban. Um, I mean, for one thing, I mean, it's like I said, it's unidentifiable. Nobody else after me is going to have any better chance of being able to identify that than I am, right?
Hmm,
Um,
hmm.
and
Right.
so, so I'm not, there's no authority I can appeal to and say, oh, there's somebody who's an expert at this, right? No. So if I take it to the Koban, then if the person who lost it realizes that, realizes that they
Yeah.
lost it, then they have a chance of getting it back, right? If they can find the proper Koban and go there and say, hey, I lost a $100 bill or whatever. There's a chance that they can get it back.
Yeah.
But if
Right.
I put it in my pocket, there's no chance of it getting back to the rightful owner. And if I leave it up to the next person, I don't know what their thought process is.
Or
Um,
if the person retraces their footsteps, there is a chance they can find it again.
that's true.
I mean, you know,
That is true. But then if they don't
I
find it,
found bicycles keys that
but
I've
then if
lost that
they
I've
don't
dropped.
find it,
You
again,
know.
like I said, we're talking about in Japan anyway. Um, the logical thing to do would be to go to the Koban in the area to see if anybody turned it in.
That's true.
Right? I mean,
That's
that's what
true.
I would do. If I lost
Yeah,
something
that's
valuable, I
true.
would definitely look for the nearest Koban in the area and see if anything it was turned in.
Hmm, hmm.
I think there's much more likely there than, like I said, it it blows around. We don't know, where it might end up. It might blow into the river or something like that and be gone. Then nobody's ever going to get it back. That seems like a waste.
Yeah, Eleanor says, "Look at this comment here in America. If I turned it into the police, one of the officers maybe they would just keep it, right?
See, in America,
So then I'd keep it, right? The person that the money belonged to has a responsibility of holding on to it. Also, that's true too.
yeah. Here, I mean, even in the
If it
tiny
was so
little
important
Koban,
to
there's
them, they
always
should have held on to it.
yeah. Here
I mean,
in
if the
Japan,
money's
there's
very
always at
important,
least
why
two
would
or three
how could you?
policemen in every Koban, and as soon as you bring it in there, they get out their official notepad there and they start taking down all the information. So uh,
Yeah,
there's a
that's
paper
yeah,
trail that starts to be
true.
developed as soon as you walk in the door in Japan.
Yeah, that's true.
America,
Very true.
yeah,
Very true. Yeah, I mean, yeah, yeah, that's true.
yeah, America.
I mean, that's a good point, right? The person, why, you should make sure you don't lose your money is the kind of moral of that story. I never lose money. I've never lost money. I very rarely lose things.
Yeah,
So,
I
it's,
have a tendency. I'm terrible about things that I'm carrying in my hands when I
mhm.
ride on public transportation. If I got an umbrella, um, you know, unless I hold on to it the entire time that I'm riding the bus, if I put it down on the seat next to me when I'm leaving, I have a tendency to forget it. Or like on the train, you put the bundles, in the overhead or whatever. There's a thing, I'm as likely to forget that as anything. I've done that more than
Yeah.
once.
Oh, okay. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I've
yeah,
known a few people who've done that.
yeah,
I've traveled on Shinkansens with a few people who've done that, right? And
yeah.
we
I
get to
just
the destination and they're like, "Oh my God, I left my bag on the train
mm,
with my computer in it. Ah, what am I gonna do?"
uh,
No,
yeah,
I would never. That wouldn't happen to me. I'd be,
really,
yeah.
yeah,
I know.
yeah.
I'm quite careful about these things. Yeah,
Umbrellas, I've lost
it's
umbrellas
important.
all
Yeah.
the time. Yeah, I mean, if it's not raining when I
Hmm.
get off the train, or if it's not raining when I come out of the shop or whatever, where I put my umbrella in front, I'm likely to forget
Yeah.
it. I don't if I don't need it right then, I'm not thinking about it because I generally don't like to have anything in my hands when I'm walking. I like to have free hands. That's why I prefer a backpack to carrying a briefcase or something like that in my hands. I really don't like briefcases.
Yeah, I have a backpack too.
Yeah.
Exactly. But I don't mind carrying things in my hands if I need
Yeah,
to. Sure.
I don't. I just I
But
want my
yeah, a lot
hands
of
to be
people don't.
free. Yeah, yeah.
There
So
you go. There you go. Good
yeah.
one. Good one.
All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Here's one we haven't covered. Why are people told to respect the
Oh,
dead?
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
I
we
guess
have
because
all
they've
kinds.
been through they are dead, first of all, so they don't know what we do to them. But
Exactly. They don't. They
they've
have
been
no
through
idea what we're
life
saying about
already.
them, right? We say,
Right,
don't speak
right.
ill of the dead. What did that come from? Why not speak ill of the dead? If I mean, okay, yeah, they can't defend themselves, but I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
if they, alive or dead, if they did something wrong, I don't think it's inappropriate to say
Hmm.
something about it.
Yeah, I think it's just basically in the family they were taught to respect their elders and people who brought them into the world and gave them a good life and whatnot. I mean, there are very ceremonies in a lot of countries about death.
Mm,
Day of the Dead in Mexico or Latin countries, right? And Obon here in Japan.
mhm,
About remembering your ancestors and
yeah.
remembering those who came before you, kind of. So I guess it's in that respect, in that feeling, right? to
Uh,
to respect
mm,
those who have gone beyond, right?
mm.
But you're right, they've died and they don't really know what's going on.
So
So
Kimchi says, in
so then
defense
so
and
then
deference to the family left behind. Yeah, I mean that kind of makes sense. Yeah, you
mm,
don't want to,
yeah.
you know, they were horrible people in life, and I had no respect for them while they were living. I have no respect for them while they are dead either. Them getting to the
Hmm.
end of their life doesn't make them right. Exactly, doesn't make them a better
Yeah.
person.
Hmm.
Right.
Right. So
Yeah.
that also yeah, sorry, just one quick thing here. It also leads me to believe why we spend so much money and time on grave sites and coffins and whatnot, right?
Yep.
Especially in America, but here too in Japan, some families have these ornate grave sites, right,
Mm,
overlooking a beautiful view and whatnot, and,
mm.
right, in the perfect location under a tree. And why? Why, right?
Yep.
Well, you're gonna rest well when you're dead, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Um,
be dead, so what's the difference?
it's again, that's only for the people that are left behind, the family or whoever wants
Mm,
to honor you in whatever way, to give them a nice place to go to, to physically go to remember you or whatever, I guess. Yeah,
mhm.
it's funny. My wife and I just arranged to buy a twin plot in the Philippines.
Okay, great.
You know,
You're not gonna have any ashes or anything in Japan here or in the United
no,
States?
no,
Uh-huh,
no. I
right.
I mean, I don't care what happens to my body when I'm done with it.
Yeah,
As
I
soon
don't
as I
either.
cease to function, this lump of protoplasm here is not me in in any sense. So I
Right.
don't care.
How do you
So
feel about donating your organs
I don't care. I mean,
after you
if there's
die,
any that
right?
they would want, I mean, I can't imagine mine are in that good a
Yeah,
shape.
on your I don't know if on your US driver's license you had that? Did you
Yeah,
have
I was
that
a donor. Absolutely, sure.
notification? Me
Yep,
too, me too.
yeah.
My wife now doesn't like that idea at all.
Uh, See, to me,
Because you
it
can do
doesn't
that in
matter.
Japan too.
Yeah, it doesn't matter to me at all. I mean, honestly, if they said, look, the cemeteries are all filled up, we're just gonna dump your body in the local landfill, uh,
Mhm,
and the
mhm.
rats and the vermin will feast on it. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna
Mhm,
be
mhm.
there. That is not me,
That's right. Mhm. You won't know, Jack Diddley.
Yeah.
So
I
why,
mean, to
why
me, that
not,
makes
right?
as
Yeah,
much. I
sure.
mean, the funerals and burying people makes as much sense as playing the funeral march every time you take a dump. I mean, you're done with
Yeah.
it. It's not part of you anymore. So what the heck? Just don't
So
care.
do you care? So do you care what's written on your gravestone if you have
No,
one?
No,
Okay.
absolutely
Yeah.
not.
Yeah. Right. Right.
Absolutely
Okay.
not. Because I don't
Uh-huh.
believe that I'm going to be aware of anything after I die. So, or if
Yeah.
I am, if I am aware of anything after I die, it's not going to bother me. It's not going to affect me. You know, I'm going to be aware of anything.
Yeah.
You know, as
That's
aware
that's a
after
good.
I die as I was born. You know, I think I'll have the same level. And so, um, yeah,
Yeah. Here's a good one. When I go, do with my meat suit as you like.
right on, right on.
Yeah, that's right. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Indeed. Yeah, sure. Uh,
Yeah, it has to do
yeah,
with
so
those that are
there you go.
living, not the dead. Exactly right. You know, so I'm trying
That's
to
right.
to get my loved ones, on board with the idea that my body is just not important. I mean, treat me nice while I'm here. I don't care what you do to my body after I'm gone. But treat me nice while I'm here would be
Yeah.
much preferable.
Yeah, sure. Of course, of course. Yeah, my family was, and of course this was a long time ago, but my family was very indifferent to cremation. They always wanted the traditional coffin burial, but now we're all into cremation.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, my dad started that, and my mom's going to get cremated, and they have two plots in a mausoleum, uh,
Mm,
two uh, two niches they're called, in a mausoleum next to each other, and there are two other plots for my sister and I.
yeah.
Um, I may have a bit of my ashes there in America and here in Japan.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah,
Interesting.
but my wife recently was like, we got a plot here in Japan in Kumamoto, right? And
Mhm.
yeah, and she's like, "Oh, it's a great plot. It's going to be expensive, but it's a really good plot. It's a perfect spot." Yeah, she kind of into it like
Yeah.
that, and I'm like, great, but I'm thinking inside. Fortunately, she doesn't do social media, so she won't be watching this, but
Oh,
I'm
oh,
thinking,
man.
is it necessary?
Yeah. I
Kind of,
tell you,
right? But
yeah,
to her, it's very important, so I'm fine with it. No
it's
problem.
weird, I don't exactly understand how they do it, but we bought we bought a twin plot because if you bought a single plot, actually, you can inter like up to 3 or 4 remains in one plot. Right? But
Hmm. Hmm.
only one,
Yeah.
as they say it, only one fresh body,
Hmm. Hmm.
right? So they
Okay.
they they inter the fresh body, and then after 10, 15 years, after the body has deteriorated, then they collect the bones or whatever, and that takes up a lot less space or whatever, and they're reinterred into a lower level, a smaller segment there, and so they can in
Hmm.
that way
Hmm.
they can inter, like, 4 bodies in the space of one.
Yeah. 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 Right. Okay.
you
Gotcha.
know yeah
That's an economical way to do it, isn't it?
yeah, but we got
Sure.
the twin
Why
one
not?
because it's, who knows what'll happen. I thought, well, if there's some kind of a disaster or something like that, and we go at the same time, if we've only got a single plot, then what are they going to do? I mean,
Yeah.
um
Yeah. Yeah. Sure. Sure.
but actually, a lot of people, especially, typical, the husband will go several years before the wife, right? So, typically a couple
Yes.
will just get a single plot, and the husband goes, and then 10, 15 years later, when the wife passes on, the husband is reinterred into the smaller space, and the wife's fresh body goes on top, right?
Yeah. 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 But you never know. You never know. Things do happen. So
Yeah,
better to
yeah,
be prepared, right?
yeah,
And when my dad died, my mom wanted to get the niche next to his, of course, right? And for a while, it was iffy if she was going to get it or not. And then she said, "Well, I need to get that," and so we took care of that a few years ago when I was home. Yeah, so it's good. It's good. Yeah, that's a
oh,
good idea,
put up put in
Lorenzo.
the
Yeah,
box, and either the family can
putting
take that.
yeah
So did you
putting
read this?
ashes on the grave of my father. Which
No, yeah.
one?
What's interesting in Greece, they have no more land to bury people. So people are
Yeah.
only buried in the cemetery for a certain amount of time, and then those bones are dug up there, put in a box, and either the family can take them
Mm.
or they're put into like one great big mausoleum where everybody's bones are in boxes. So another body can go in that
Boxes.
grave, but they have no
Wow.
more grave space in Greece. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
I'm
America,
sure it's
America's
similar in
big enough. There's
Japan.
there's plenty of room left in America, I guess, but
Sure. Plenty of room.
yeah.
Plenty of
Philippines,
room.
yeah,
Yeah.
the Philippines isn't quite like Greece, but yeah, I mean it's similar to that in that, they're only interred as a fresh body, as a complete body for a certain period of time, and then they're done, redone, the just the bones are reinterred as just the bones in a much more compact uh, you
Hmm.
know,
Hmm.
form there. So yeah, it's kind of similar to Greece, but
I
they are
think
still buried. Yeah.
In Japan, it's been accustomed to cremate for a long, long time,
A
right?
long
And I
time.
heard
Yeah.
primarily because they didn't have embalming, right? But
Ah.
now they do have embalming.
Hmm.
Yeah. So, but they're still primarily cremated.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
So,
thought cremated would be okay. I thought, yeah, we'll just clean things
yeah,
up, take care of things right
definitely.
away. But then I learned that, I mean, they have to go through the expenses of the funeral anyway, or a certain amount of. I mean, you still have to buy a coffin or whatever.
Right. Exactly.
It's like
Or an urn. You mean for cremation? A little
right, yeah,
urn.
they
Yeah.
they actually, yeah, they, because yeah, they don't put just the
Yeah.
naked body in there. I think they put you
No.
in a pine box, and so the ashes that the
Hmm.
family
Hmm.
gets, it's a little. They only give you
Hmm. Hmm.
like a small amount of the total ashes, because a lot of the ashes
Hmm.
are
Hmm.
actually from the pine box or whatever it is, the casket that was burned with the body.
Hmm. Hmm.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yes. Right.
so
Hmm.
yeah,
Hmm.
so it's, yeah, I don't know, it's weird.
Yeah, in Japan, you don't have to go to that level. Have you ever been to a crematorium in Japan,
Nope,
Dan?
nope, never have.
Yeah, it's interesting that you don't have to buy the pine box, but
Oh,
they
really?
have a special concrete uh, thing that they roll into the crematorium, right? And the family goes in after the process is finished and puts all the bones in the urn, and then
Hmm.
they put the ashes on top of the bones, and then you get the urn to take home.
Mm.
So yeah, it's interesting and somber at the same time.
Huh.
It's very ceremonial. Usually there's a priest there, to kind of comfort the family. A lot of crying,
Oh,
a lot
thank
of
you for the
memories
award.
discussed.
Yeah. Wow, great,
There
great
you go,
discussion.
Dan.
I'm glad
Yeah,
somebody likes this. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. To me, I
yeah.
mean, I can understand it. I mean, it allows people, the loved ones, the family, to focus, and there's a process. So it probably makes the grieving process a little more clear, and maybe easier to take in some ways. But yeah, it seems so artificial to me. It's contrived, and yeah, I'm really bad at funerals. Yeah. um
I
if-
wonder how much a lot of the reactions are pushed or kind of created, yeah, for the
yeah,
dramatic effect. Yeah, yeah. So
yeah.
there you
I
go.
mean,
Mm.
I didn't even make it back to the States for my father's funeral.
I remember that.
Yeah,
I remember when your father died. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Didn't even
That
make
was
it
what,
back.
2 or 3 years ago now.
It's been, yeah, 3 or 4 years ago, I think. Yeah, it's been a
Okay.
while
Do you
already.
regret not going back?
No, not at all.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Because again, I mean,
Your mom didn't want you to come back, or your family didn't want you to come back,
uh, I mean,
did they not
nobody made a,
care?
a
Or
big point about, making some appeal to me to come back, right? Um,
okay.
when I told my mother that I probably wouldn't make it back, she said, "Yeah, I thought that you probably wouldn't be able to." She was very accepting of it, right? And
Hmm.
to
Hmm.
me, her opinion was the only one that really mattered. And since she was accepting of my decision, whatever anybody else thought really didn't matter to me.
Mhm.
You know,
There you go. Yeah. There you go. Sure. She was the closest to you at that time, I guess, and amongst your family. Did your father have a funeral? Did they have a funeral
yeah,
for
he had
him,
a
or
funeral. Yeah, he
yeah?
had a funeral. Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Um,
Good.
I guess it's
Yeah,
good.
there you go.
Yeah. Uh,
Yeah.
I
Hmm.
mean, yeah.
Hmm.
I don't think any display of grief is fake. The only socially acceptable space in which to grieve is a funeral. Yeah. I mean, I've seen some videos taken from North Korea when what's his name died, and I mean, I kind of wondering if any of that was maybe fake. It's like, if you don't cry big and loud enough, you might end up in political prison or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
Right.
12:30 midnight and past
Yeah.
my bedtime.
Past
Good night,
my
everyone.
bedtime.
Yep. Good
Good
night.
night.
Good night.
Thank
Good
you for
night.
joining us. Yeah.
Families, right? Yeah,
Great.
families. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Sure. Of
Guys,
course. Of course. Yeah.
no pine bark here in the States. You can
Yeah.
choose also to stay and watch the cremation if you like. The only time you would have to pay for like a pine box would be if you wanted to do a viewing during a memorial and before the cremation. Some funeral homes may charge for that. My father, side of the family, runs a funeral home. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Great.
Yeah. Yeah, it
Yeah.
seems to me, yeah, there ought to, caskets, ought to be rented. I mean, for the funeral, put him in a nice, fancy casket for the funeral. But
Yeah.
why bury that expensive thing in the ground where nobody's ever going to see it, right? I mean, that just doesn't make any sense at all. I mean, yeah. So when the body's on display, yeah, okay. If you want to splurge for that, that's fine. But rent it, and then give it back and let the next
Yeah.
guy use it.
Sure. Sure.
I'm
Yeah.
so
Interesting. I
irreverent when it
wonder.
comes to
Yeah.
funerals. I'm sorry. It's just
Yeah. I guess obviously your family doesn't run a funeral home,
no. My family
because I
doesn't
think
run a funeral home.
that's a big part of the bottom line of a funeral home, I would imagine.
Yeah, but I would think that they could make. I mean, because then you don't have you make one purchase of a really fancy. I mean, like two or three different. I mean, it's like a tuxedo, right? So tuxedo
Hmm.
rental places, they make good money by renting them out and saying, well, you don't have to buy a new tuxedo for every customer, right? So, but
Hmm.
you can
Hmm.
still get the rental
That's
money
right.
from every customer. So I think actually it might be more profitable.
There you
you could,
go.
yeah.
Maybe. Maybe. Yeah.
Maybe
Just
that
try
I'll
it out.
start
Sure.
up
Sure.
a casket rental business here. That's my
I
next
think you should.
enterprise. Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely think you should. Good idea. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe
Uh,
Eleanor has some info for you, right?
yeah. There you go.
She can help you
Okay.
out.
Good night.
Yeah.
Good night.
Why not? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Good night.
Yeah.
Ex-
Yeah. So
Excellent.
I think that
Yeah,
was the
good.
last question. Was that the last question? Yeah, that was the last
Yeah,
question.
this
Yeah.
looks like the last question. So, I mean, yeah, that's a really interesting thing to mull over, right? Yeah, death. Yeah, I mean, interestingly, my father didn't want an open casket viewing. My
Mm,
mom doesn't either. A
mm,
lot of my family members don't like that.
mm.
How about
Yeah.
did your father have a viewing or open
Um.
casket?
Well, again, I wasn't there. I can't remember. I never asked about that because again, my father wasn't there. So what those people did in order to remember him, that was their choice. I really, it sounds terrible, but I really, however these individuals chose to honor or remember my father at his passing, that's up to them, and it didn't really I
Hmm.
didn't really have any input or interest in how they
Hmm.
did that.
Yeah, interestingly, we're talking about funeral homes, but in Japan here, like wedding halls and funeral homes are often in the same places.
Yeah.
You know that
Yeah. Yeah.
they're often in the same hall, right? It's
Yeah.
same services, right? Yeah, wedding and funeral, right? Like
Well,
El Selmo, for example, right? They do both weddings and funerals.
right. Yeah, I mean, they do it at the same place,
Uh,
but the ceremonies are quite different. That's an interesting thing. We
oh,
could
the
talk about
ceremonies are different. Yeah,
yeah,
but
we could talk about that
yeah.
a little bit. So, in Japan, uh, okay, in most of the world, people identify with one religion or another, right? They're Muslim or they're Jewish or they're Christian or they're whatever, right? Or they're spiritual or something, right? But they identify with with one particular religious belief. In Japan,
Hmm,
they
hmm.
tend to be uh, to to concurrently hold several beliefs, and most particularly um, Buddhist and Shintoist beliefs at the same time.
Hmm, hmm.
And
Yeah.
for people that don't know about the Shinto and Buddhism, and I'm no expert at all, but to put it in again layman's terms, very simply from what I understand, so Buddhism, Buddha is very famous. Buddhism is very famous around the world, right? And it's looking toward the afterlife, and looking toward reaching the nirvana or whatever it is, leading the good life and trying to reach paradise or something like that, right? um so looking toward the future, toward the afterlife, whereas the Shintoist belief is more like live for today type of thing, right?
Hmm, hmm.
It's
Yeah.
in the here and now. um and
Right.
so
And they
when
also believe that there's like God in everything.
right,
Everything contains God in Shintoism, right?
right, there are many
Whereas in
gods.
Buddhism, you're many gods, and in Shintoism, sorry, Buddhism, you're trying to attain that level of transcendence,
Right,
right? To
right.
to get to God's level, right?
So
Yeah.
going back to weddings and funerals, weddings are generally, I mean, sometimes they have the Christian church wedding trappings. I mean, nobody, there are very few Christians actually here, but they'll put on, you'll have the wedding dress and you'll have somebody stand up,
Mm.
usually a foreigner that'll stand up and say some words, uh, you know,
I know a
uh,
lot of those people who are priests, right?
yeah,
And for a long time, they didn't have to be real priests,
they
actually.
still don't. They still don't.
Uh, no, they do. They do. There's a new law, right? A lot of people, recognize them. Uh, one recognize them as priests, so they can go online and get a license nowadays, right?
Right. So they got to have so now they have to go through they got to jump through some hoop, but they don't have to be any more of a priest than I am.
Now, I think there's some level that some kind of training they do have to go through, right? Yeah.
Well, I mean, I know
Uh,
we both know two of them at least that we know very
mhm.
well that are doing this, and they didn't go through any training.
I think they had to get the license online, but that
Right.
was
Yeah. You go
probably about
online,
it. Yeah,
and I
and
mean it's
they have to take some questions online, and then they get the license, right? So
yeah,
yeah.
but it's okay, if you call that
So there's a
priest
little bit of thing you have
if
to
you
go
call that
through.
priesthood, then okay, I'll accept it, but I mean to me it's just,
I'm not calling it priesthood. I mean, that's
okay.
just what they have to go through. That's
Right,
all.
right. But anyway, they have these trappings, at the wedding of, maybe a little bit of Christian like ceremony, but it's absolutely not. Um, but it's very much, it's a big deal. It's because it's this is getting married, is a life thing, right? So it's done in the Shinto style, right? It's it's a Shinto style wedding, the
Hmm.
basics, right? But the funeral is a Buddhist style funeral with the priest there,
Yeah.
saying the prayers, mumbling, so you got to really, like when the president of our university died, they had like, I think they had like seven priests, I mean, for most people it's like one or somebody that's kind of important to be maybe three, I think that, the head of, when Matsumaya died, I think it was like had like seven or nine priests, all doing it in harmony or whatever there, this big
Wow.
deal. Yeah.
Man. Okay. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty interesting stuff.
Yeah. Let's see. What is this here?
I don't know if there are too many weddings going on now, though,
Well, I mean,
with COVID and all.
at least a few are going on. Again, the people that we know, at least one or two every weekend. It seems like
Mhm, mhm.
people
Well, that's good. Yeah,
should
people are
just be
getting married.
practicing not
That's good.
caution. Put in the ground. Caskets are a waste of material. They're toxic there in this day
Hmm.
and age. We should know better. They're a money making scheme. That's what a casket is, right? I'm for that one. The letter to live in
Totally.
the now. That's all we have. We are owed nothing, promised nothing. We have this moment. Make the best and most of it. Right on. Well said.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Congressman, we should throw a party while the people are alive. They should be here to celebrate. If you want to celebrate that life, then let the life know how much they mean while they're still alive. Absolutely. Completely agree.
Totally.
And,
Hmm.
I mean, the,
Yeah, I mean, I hope people have a party when I die.
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
I hope people have
I mean,
a smashing
I
party. I mean,
will. I
I'll
mean,
pay for it.
yeah, I mean, if I'm
Yeah,
still here,
I'll pay
I'll be
for it.
celebrating. I mean, I'll be partying.
Please do, man. Yes, right.
Yes, all
Play
right.
music, jump around, dance around,
Absolutely.
yes. I
Absolutely.
mean, that's what I want, but my family may differ in that
Yeah.
opinion.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not
Um,
sure how much my wife would like that,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
being a traditional Japanese woman.
Well, I mean, I mean, at least the Japanese. The best
Mm.
thing I can say about Japanese and religion is that they're basically a-religious. The huge majority of the
Yeah.
population, right? They're not really anti-religious. They're just a-religious. They're more like, yeah, it's like,
Hmm.
okay, I don't really understand that, and I just don't really care to understand that. So you go ahead, do what you want to do, but leave me out of it.
Do what you want to do. Yeah,
But they do like
that's
ceremonies
right.
here. They love ceremonies in Japan.
Oh, they love ceremonies. Yeah.
I mean,
Even if there's very little meaning to it, they
yeah,
still.
yeah, yeah. Everything,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
everything
for sure.
is
It's
orchestrated
interesting.
and scripted down to the last detail and everything, and oh, it's great, But
Very ceremonial.
I mean, that's one of the things that is hardest for me in Japan because I am so uninterested in ceremony. I mean, I have no time
Mhm,
for ceremony, at all.
mhm, mhm.
I just can't be bothered.
Yeah.
But so that's
But
one of
still,
the
you go to the graduation ceremonies at your
I do
university?
now because
Or you did? Yeah.
now that I'm tenured, I do. But
Mhm, mhm.
when I before I was tenured, I didn't. There were years when I didn't go. At first I
Mhm,
did because it
mhm.
was kind of interesting. It was different. I'd never been through that. But after about 6 or 8 years, okay, now it's all right. I know exactly what's going to happen. I mean, I could almost lead the whole thing. I mean, I've been through it so much, and it's like, all right, this is enough. I don't need to be here.
They're
Um,
they are very formulaic, aren't they?
oh yes, yeah,
There's special movements, there's special phrases they use, and there's
yeah.
special semantics that go into it. Yeah, absolutely, very very formulaic.
It's
And you're right. When you first come to Japan, it's interesting to see these things, but after 5 years being here, you're
mm.
kind of like, wow.
Is Buddhism a religion or more a way of life, like a practice, like I'm vegetarian? It,
Yeah, I
I
mean,
mean,
yeah, I think you can look at it both ways. Yeah,
yeah,
there is
I mean,
Buddhism as a religion, but some Americans think that Buddhists here meditate every day and do that kind of thing, and there
mm,
is that.
yeah.
But I
Again,
don't think
Buddhism
you have to
Buddhism
do
is like
that
talking
to be
about
Buddhism.
Christianity. It's like, Buddhism is like talking about Christianity. I mean, there's big differences in Christianity between, for example, the Eastern Orthodox and Catholics and Protestants, and then even among the Protestants, you have more schisms and so on. And Buddhism is probably at least as fractured as Christianity is, and
There are many
different.
many Buddhist sects
Right.
and
Yeah. The
Buddhist
different sects have
Buddhist
very, very
sections. Yeah.
different practices. I mean, I met a
Mm,
Buddhist. I mean, some Buddhist priests are like Catholic priests, and that there's vow of celibacy, you know, and never marry and so on. But a lot of them, you know, marry, you know, in the way that Protestant ministers marry and so on. Some of them are
Yeah, and
very
some don't drink alcohol, but
right,
some do. There's
right.
some sects that do drink alcohol.
Right.
Yeah. Mm.
Yeah. Vices like, yeah, alcohol, tobacco, and so on. You know, some sects, you know, are just very strict about that. Some of them aren't. You know, the food also. You know, Buddhists, you know, very famous for, you know, for some Buddhist sects being very strictly vegan, vegetarian, vegan, whereas others, you know, they can eat anything. Yeah. When I was in Niigata, there was a young priest who took my I had a English conversation class, and he was a young priest. And you know, we went out to a party, and he was smoking and drinking and eating what, you know, anything that was there. And I thought, wow, you know, so the priest's life is you know, you don't have too many restrictions, I guess. I said, yeah, oh yeah, our sect, you know, anything goes. You know, we have no taboos. Whatever you want to, it's fine. I said, wow, that's the
Mhm.
one
Yeah,
for
yeah, yeah.
me.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's right. There are a lot of them like that.
Crunchy tiger moms doing yoga. Okay.
Yeah.
We steal and corrupt
Yeah, it
lots of
is more of a lifestyle in America, I know.
yeah,
I
yeah,
know. They kind of adopt it as a lifestyle, right?
mm,
It's very different here, though.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I mean, yes, I mean certain Buddhists, you know, yeah, you know, like I said, yeah, very, you know, vegan, vegetarian, and so on. You know, very big on the preservation of life. I mean, that's more or less a theme throughout all the sects of Buddhism. You know, but you have some, you know, that would just, you know, who because of their Buddhist belief, you know, would be, you know, I guess, you know, conscientious objectors. You know, they would not be able to serve in the military, even,
Hmm.
you know, because of their, you know, their views on life and so on. But you know, it varies a lot. You know, it varies a lot.
It does. Varies a lot. Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's cool
Alrighty then.
stuff, Dan.
Yeah.
Alrighty then.
What
Great
time is it now?
conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How long have we been
We've
at
been on
this?
for about an hour and 20 minutes.
An hour and 20 minutes. Where does this?
Or no, hour and 12 minutes, I guess.
Oh, there it is. An hour and 12 minutes. Yep. An
Yeah,
hour and 12
yeah.
minutes. I mean, yeah, if you want, if you got more time, I got more to talk about.
I'm kind of got some things to take care of this afternoon.
Alrighty.
Uh, got a few deadlines I've got to meet. Yeah, so, but if you're around tomorrow, let's definitely do it
All right. Yeah, we'll
again.
put one under your name this time, right?
Yeah, sounds good. Let's do
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
I'm
All
thinking
right.
around a little earlier in the day, like
Okay.
11ish, 12ish, if you're around.
Earlier is better for me because the wife gets home, you
Is it
know.
okay?
Yeah. So yeah, the earlier the better for me. Yeah. Let me know.
Great. Sounds good.
All right. So see you all
Thank you, man.
tomorrow. And thanks everyone.
Thank you
Thanks
very
Tim.
much. Good
Thanks
stuff.
Eleanor. Yep. And
Yep.
thanks for
Have a great
sticking with us till
evening.
the very end.
Yeah. Thanks for sticking around.
All right. Take care and bye bye.
Excellent. Yeah.